Hi, guys.
You just had your first scrimmage of spring out there. How did it go?
Yeah, the guys are running around pretty good. I think the biggest part with it now is just getting into situations and, not just putting the ball down and running a defensive play against an offensive play, kind of learning when it's, hey, third and medium compared to third and long or third and short. How does that affect us on defense? And what are some of the things that we should be looking for on offense? So you get to teach that type of stuff after a day like today, which is great.
How excited were the players maybe to have a scrimmage and have an opportunity to play in front of a small group of fans?
Yeah, I think that the guys have been really pretty good intensity, pretty good tempo, even the first 5 practices leading up to this. And they went out there with a purpose today. It's a little different because it's a Saturday, different routine than our Tuesday, Thursday, and obviously we had last Friday. So, it's been in the morning, a little earlier, I guess, in the morning. So a little bit different. So it was good for them to get out there with maybe a little bit different routine than they're used to and still be able to go out there and play and run around.
Coach, have you seen the growth from your edge room that you wanted to see over these past few days of practice?
Yeah, the parts for me is getting to know these guys and their personalities, kind of, how they take different, ways of being coached and what's their, how do they learn the best, I guess. So that part's been fun for me. And then, on the field, as we kind of get used to each other and they understand my drills and the flow of it, they get better and better at it. So that part, has been fun with these guys.
Let's talk about Malachi Lawrence, a guy who's returning from the team, one of the longest tenured players on this team. Talk about how he's running, kind of leading the edges.
Yeah, Malachi does a great job in the room with the guys. He has a really good understanding of the game of football, not only defensively but offensively as well. He's obviously been a guy that's been around a lot of football and has a very high football IQ, understands the game, how to line up, attack different formations, what different offensive formations are going to stress us, and things like that. So he's been great.
Coach, it's been said that this time of year for you and the players is learning season. You mentioned the players learning a bit themselves. For you, what is it you're learning, and what do you learn from this scrimmage situation?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun for me to get to kind of be in a different defense that I've been in the last couple. Actually, I've been in about 4 different over the last 4 years. So this is another one, I guess, to add to the list. But it's been a lot of fun learning Coach Grinch's system and kind of how he's put this package together. So there's some learning for me on that on that way. And then to be able to get the guys and kind of go, okay, hey, here's step A, step B, step C, and how they all kind of fit together, or maybe we can use each step before to kind of dress up the next one. So that part's been fun.
Does it help kind of relate to the guys that you all are all learning kind of together?
Yeah, I think the guys, it's like the teacher adage, right? You got to stay one page in the textbook ahead of the guys to make sure that you always know more than them. But I'm just kidding on that. But it's been fun to get around these guys, and we're settling in, and we have a pretty good room right now. Guys that respect each other. I think the guys respect the way that each other are working, so that makes it easy to teach.
What's different about a Coach Grinch defense? What kind of stands out, learning it, and what makes it different?
Yeah, I think that just the way he kind of rolls this package together, there's some familiarity for me from stuff that we did when we were together 20 years ago, and then there's a bunch of new stuff that kind of goes with it. So just been neat to see the way that he's kind of grown. Obviously his different experiences and the different obviously we know the long list of head coaches that he's been around and been with, so you see some of that stuff show up throughout this package for sure.
What's your philosophy when you look at the edge position? You bring in a lot of veteran presence here in that group. What would you like to see out of these guys, and how much coaching is there really when you have an experienced group that's around you?
What are you saying? Don't screw them up. Well, it's been a lot. It's fun with guys that have a base understanding, because you can you kind of get out of football 101 and you start getting to the higher level classes, if that makes sense. You get to teach them the intricacies, and not only, hey, do this, but you can kind of get into, hey, this is why you want to do this instead of that, or at this time this might be a little bit better technique or fundamental than it would have been in this situation. So to be able to have those conversations with the guys is really fun.
I know Grinch has mentioned kind of playing some 4-man front in addition to some 3-man front. So how is the learning curve as far as these guys potentially multiple fronts?
Yeah, I think defensively nowadays, if you watch any 4-down team, they play some 3-down. If you watch any 3-down team, they play some 4-down. I mean, that's from the NFL all the way down through probably high school, and you have to be multiple. If you just line up and the offense knows where you're going to be, and it's like running plays against trash cans or something, it's going to be a long day for you on defense. So I think that not only do you have to be able to show being at 3 down, being at 4 down, but being able to maybe move in between the both of them, so, and then, I think everybody kind of, the packages grow. All of a sudden it looks like it's 5 down or 6 down and things like that. So I think that you have to be able, it's a fine line. You don't want to overload guys and give them too much information, too much to think about, but you want to make it easy for your guys, but hard for the offense. So that's what we try to do.
Talk about your process of evaluating the edge room during this spring, and especially during these scrimmages that are coming up. How are you going to evaluate their talent, where they're going to go?
Yeah, my biggest thing is evaluating the effort. I want to see the guys that want to play hard. That's the lost art. Like, it's not the, I don't know, fashionable coaching, buzzwords or terms. But, when you get down to it in this game, it's the guys that play harder than the other guys for a longer duration, and give you a better chance to win. So I just want to see the guys playing hard, and then we have to eliminate the, missed assignments. Oh, hey, I was supposed to take it on with this shoulder, I took it on with that shoulder. I was supposed to drop and I rushed. I was supposed to rush and I dropped. You have to eliminate those as you go through. Otherwise, you can't line up the play. So, those two things go hand in hand. Number one, do I know what I'm doing? Number two, can I execute it at a high level and play as hard as I can? So that's what I'm looking for these
No
guys.
better way of evaluating that than on these scrimmages where you got offense versus defense.
Yeah, it's great going against our offense. Just they're going to give you, a bunch of different looks at a bunch of different things, whether it's different formations or plays or stacks or bunches or different alignments and things like that. So you have to be on it. You have to know ahead of time, hey, this is how we're going to adjust, because you can't predict maybe what the next thing is going to be. So you got to be you got to be coaching that ahead of time. Proactive instead of reactive coaching.
Coach, you mentioned there's no real textbook for noticing guys playing hard, but what is the kind of something you look for with your experience from your perspective?
Yeah, two things. Number one, it's always, are guys turning and running to the ball. I mean, you have to be running. I use the term, I learned this from Coach McDonald at the University of New Hampshire, and I coached for him years ago. It's a change of speed and or pad level. If it's kind of like the, you see them and all of a sudden their pads drop, it's like, that's like the, oh no, the play's still going. So you guys see that on film, pointing out to guys, and then I'll just ask guys, hey, is this as fast as you can run? And if they have pride, they're going to tell you no, and they're going to want to get pushed. So hey, if that's not as fast as you go, I can't accept that as a coach. Otherwise, what am it's doing a disservice to the player. So a lot of it's them recognizing how much more can they give, how much harder can they go. So that's probably the main way to be able to recognize that.
What have you seen from Nyjalik Kelly this spring? He's one of UCF's better players last year.
Yeah, the thing that jumps about Nyjalik to me is that he wants to learn. He wants to get better. As a guy that's playing at a high level, he's got a lot of questions on how can I improve that, how can I get better at that, and that part's been really good. So he's been fun to coach, like most of the guys.
What about Sincere Edwards? I know he's one of the transfers. He had a standout freshman season at Pitt last year.
Yeah, high motor guy. Same thing. Ask his question. Sincere will ask you some like real hard question, like where you're like, oh, hey, there's some thought into that, rather than an easy, well, hey, that's a first grade level question. He's the other way. He's going pretty deep on that, so that's been fun. And then he plays with a high motor, really doing a great job running around and being fast and physical on the field. It's been fun to coach.
What's the fun and challenges about this? Is one of the most guys returning in terms of groups on the team in the edge room. So you have a solid idea of guys who will play on the field. What are the challenges of going against other groups that are not sure where guys are filling in for that competition?
Yeah, my big thing with the guys is these reps are our reps. This has to be your rep. You got to do it as fast as you can do it. You can't give it to the other guy. So we're going to play to our level and let the guys catch up to us. And if we are, or and sometimes we need to do a better job of doing what we're doing. So I want the guys to worry about themselves individually, and I worry about them. How hard can we go all of the time?
All right, thanks everyone.
All right, thanks guys. Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
For a scrimmage out there today, so who won today? Was it the offense or the defense?
Defense, of course. We always win.
What stood out to you about it?
Just us getting out there, competing, offense versus defense, tackles, setting on us. We're able to really look. It's like real game like. So I love scrimmaging, love competing against my brothers.
What do you love about the scrimmages? What do you love about being able to get on the field and organize setting versus offense versus defense?
It get to see where we at as a team. We get to see if we're ready. It's spring, so of course we're not ready for the season yet. It's still more time to improve. So it just show where we at as a team.
You had a chance. You could have transferred. You could have left here after last year. Why did you decide to come back? And how much was Scott Frost his staff and what he was kind of preaching? How much did that maybe convince you to come back here?
I'm not really the type of guy to leave a program when stuff is bad. Give every program a chance. I've never really wanted to leave, so when Coach Frost, he came, we had a conversation, and I was already going to stay, so it was no-brainer to just stay here still.
So kind of on that note, what's the vibe like? Just kind of now that you're getting to know Frost a lot better, you're attending practices with them, Coach Grinch too. What's kind of the vibe with these new coaches?
Very fun, but when it's time to put them pads on, it's serious. So fun off the field, serious in the meetings, serious on the field. So it kind of balance it out.
You mentioned you got some years playing, obviously. Malachi's experience too. What is it you feel like guys like you and Malachi who are experienced learn during this time of year? You already know where to stand and that kind of thing, but what is it you guys learn at this time?
Well, that we're experienced, it's the little things that we learn from Coach Dawson, teaching us our first step, where to place our hands, when to turn our hips, when to reach for the quarterback. So just the little things right now that we're experienced now.
And I know that it's early, but is there anything that stands out that Coach Dawson has helped you improve on at this point?
Everything. With my long arm, with putting my hips up under me, with my get off, with my pad level, with my feet work, everything he's teaching is helping me progress my game.
Well, certainly.
Most of your units back from last year, we had Sincere Edwards. What do you feel like he brings? What sort of dynamic does he add to your group?
He brings depth. Very twitchy, very fast, very low, can bend, can get to the quarterback. So help my rush. If I'm bringing somebody, if I'm coming off the edge, Sincere right there winning, I feel like we can play with anybody. I can go in with Sincere, me and Sincere. Mally can go in with Sincere. Zay can go in with Sincere. We all can rush together. It don't matter. We all ones to me. Everybody play the same to me.
It's early on, but I mean, what are your expectations? I mean, with this group. I mean, last year you had moments and things like that, but what do you think this group's capable of doing this year?
Getting sacks, rushing the edge, setting the edge, getting TFLs, getting a lot of sacks. That's what we coming to do this year.
The note of a lot of you guys returning, do you guys view yourselves as like leaders of the entire defensive room? Because you guys have been here, you've got the experience wearing UCF, and talk about that.
Of course, we're the leaders. We're the front four. The pass rushers, the people who help the little guys not cover all day. Of course, we're the leaders. If we don't move, then don't nobody really move for real. So of course, we're the leaders.
I know you were kind of overcoming injuries when you got here last year, but do you feel like you kind of had a breakout season? You had 5.5 sacks. I think you led the team. So how much better can Nyjalik Kelly be this year?
A lot better. 5.5 sacks. That ain't, to me. That's not really anything to me. Everybody want double-digit sacks, so I can always get better. You feel me? Like 5.5 sacks. I want 10 this year. So everybody can get better.
What do you want to see yourself most improve this spring to reach that goal?
Being able to not be tired early, being able to set the edge harder, being able to help my brothers and everything, just being more of a leader.
You noticed a number change from you this year. What's the number 9 mean to you?
My uncle, he passed away, but I have been had number 9, but when he passed away, number 9 just meant a little more to me. He was my old head coach at Dillard, so when he passed away, he wore number 9, so I just liked the number 9 just because of him.
Who is the biggest personality in the ring?
The biggest? Coach Dawson. Coach Dawson, yeah, he funny, man. Yeah, he funny. I'm not even gonna lie. Coach Dawson got the biggest personality.
What has he kind of impart with you guys? He's coached a lot of places. He's been in the NFL. Like, what are you learning from Coach Dawson?
I'm learning a lot, like stuff I didn't even know. Like, of course, as a player, you think you know everything, but then when you look at film and then you have a coach that coached in the NFL, coached a lot of great pass rushers, and he going to the small little details of how to progress your rush. So like stuff I thought I already knew, I didn't know. So I'm learning a lot from him.
I know it's kind of hard to answer this question, but looking at this season, how good can this team be? How good can this defense be? I know you're just getting going in spring, you're learning your new teammates and stuff, but just what's the outlook you think for UCF football this season?
I feel like we can be as good as we should have been last year. This year we should be leading the Big 12 and everything. If we put our mind to do the work, go and film. If everybody just come together, we should be leading the Big 12.
Thanks, everyone.
Nyjalik. You guys had your first scrimmage. So who won today's scrimmage? Was it offense or defense?
I'd say defense won, but, that would be probably a little on the defense side, one-sided, since I'm on defense.
How do you evaluate your performance from the scrimmage? What did you like? What did you see from the edge room?
From the edge room, I seen people getting off the ball. Pass rushing was good. We were setting the edges, but we also have some things to work on too, like just doing our job, just knowing the plays, just fatigue, little stuff like that.
Was there anybody who made a good play or a special play out there?
Sincere, definitely. Sincere, Jamal, Isaiah, Nyjalik. So a lot of the guys made good plays today.
How would you evaluate the team overall? Does it look like things are starting to come together and click?
Yes, I believe that things are starting to come together now, and just it takes time too as well. Like we're all new guys. Like most of us are new, but I've been here for a few years. But just getting to know people, getting to know how they grew up, where they're from, stuff like that.
Dawson was mentioning Sincere's motor a couple minutes ago. What kind of stands out to you about the way he plays and the way he attacks every down on the field?
Oh yeah, he's aggressive. He attacks it aggressively, and he brings a lot of that juice that we need for sure. Like when he does something good, he gets hype, and it brings the team together, and it gets us all hype.
How does having the experience you guys have in the edge room, you got a lot of guys coming back, a lot of guys who've played a lot of football. How does that help you guys maybe going out there? Dawson talked a little bit about he doesn't have to just play football one-on-one to you guys. You guys can bring it to the next level.
Exactly. We get to play faster. So if you know the plays, if you know what the offense is doing, basically from just reading their pre-snap, you just get to play faster and stuff like that. And so just going through the years of developing your football IQ and it growing stronger, it's definitely helped.
Coach Dawson said he wants you guys to be more proactive and not reactive as well. He's evaluating you guys on effort. What have you seen about his coaching style and the way he's working with you guys?
He doesn't want us loafing at all. Like he said, I kind of overheard him. He said, just a change of speed, stuff like that. We need to always be hunting for the ball. We just don't need to run after it because you never know. It could be a fumble that you can get. Just run into the ball, stuff like that.
You play for multiple defensive coordinators here at UCF. So what is it about Coach Grinch? Now that you've been in it, a couple weeks now, what stands out about playing in his defense? How is it different?
I feel like it's different because he always has a motor. When we come in the room, it's something on the board, how we gonna attack the day, stuff like that. So I feel like that definitely helps because it sets a culture for the defense.
Well, and you're talking about learning about Coach Grinch and the defensive coaches. What do you think they're learning about you in this process? Because y'all are learning each other, right?
Right. I feel like they're learning that we're hard workers. We get to attack, we attack. Sometimes we just need to work on our stamina too sometimes, but that comes over time. But I feel like they just see us we're workers, we're hard workers, we attack. It's just the stuff on the side that we need to work on, some of the little things.
Well, and you mentioned the stamina and conditioning and stuff. We were talking about Dawson making comments about having a hard worker. How much does having that in the back burner kind of make you push to get that stamina up?
Even more, you got to already have it in you kind of a little bit if you want to make it, but just having him in your ear definitely helps because it'll make you push harder, stuff like that.
What was the highlight of the scrimmage today? Who had the best play on defense? I guess you're defensive guys. Who was the star of the day on defense?
I'd say Sincere. He had 2 good plays that got the defense off the field real fast. I'll say that.
How did he do? Was it a rush on the quarterback?
Yeah.
Or what did he do?
I believe it was a rush in the quarterback, and I didn't really get to see the other play, but he had told me about it, so yeah.
How aggressive do you think you guys can be? I mean, I know you're only 2 weeks into spring ball, but based on what happened last year, I mean, do you guys feel like this is a group that can really kind of stand out and help develop the defense?
Definitely, that's our goal. We're not aiming at nothing less than that. We want to be aggressive. We want to lead the Big 12 in sacks. It's stuff like that. So just working on that, working on our pass rush, setting the edge, stuff like that.
How's the chemistry been for you guys?
It's been good. Like you said, people coming back from last year. So our ends room, we added just Sincere, I believe. So just coming back to all the people that I've been around for another year is just good.
The overall vibe, just obviously different coaches that now. Coach Frost is your leader. Coach Grinch on defense. Just kind of what's the vibe amongst the team? Learning these new coaches.
It's a good vibe. I like the vibe. It's a great atmosphere to be around. It's kind of they're just listening. They're taking whatever we have to say and then they're applying it, and seeing how we can get better as well, and see how they can get better as coaches.
Talk about the excitement for you guys as these practices and scrimmages start to rev up a little bit as we end still for the final stretch of spring. Talk about the excitement on the field.
The excitement on the field, just making a play, that always excites you. And I mean, it's self-explanatory, kind of just being excited for for your brothers. Like, when they make a play, you get excited for them, so it can just show like the bonding, the team sportsmanship, stuff like that.
You guys hungry for this scrimmage to finally go against the offense and be in an organized setting?
Yeah, definitely. Like, kind of like with the D-line, we do the same thing. Like, because even without our pads, we're still striking. We still got to strike. So it's kind of the same for us. But I feel like the DBs and the running backs were a little more into it too.
Well, Malachi, we mentioned that we could talk about being hungry, but from where I sat when I was in practice in my day, it wasn't real until people started jogging. Has there been a little trash talk between the group at this point yet? You guys comfortable to get there?
A little bit. You know, it's always going to be trash talk between the O-line, D-line, because we always hitting each other. So, like, just the trash talk, but, like, we got to, like, control the trash talk too.
Sure.
But it's definitely good to trash talk, but you just got to know when to do it and when to stop.
But you've gotten that level of confidence in practice to where that started to happen.
Exactly, yeah, that's good.
Speaking of the O-line,
one more.
there's a lot of new faces. Who's been giving you like the most challenges?
I haven't really went up against the O-line this spring, but I feel like it's Paul probably, most likely. Yeah.
Thanks, Malachi.
Appreciate you.
All right.